Hey everyone, how's it going? It's Nady, and today we're comparing the Too Faced Chocolate Gold palette to this $3 dupe. As you beautiful people know, this is about the products, not the people behind them. Any tiff you may have with them, please cast it away because this is a channel of positive energy, okay? Thank you. Oh, my little deviled eggs, how you doing today? I hope wherever you're at in the world, you're having a marvelous day so far. I myself am doing very good. I got up bright and early and whoo, she is tired. It's one of those days where I could have gotten 20 hours of sleep and I'd still be exhausted, you know? It's just a little bit hard for my brain to think and like form sentences, but makeup always fixes everything, so I wanted to hop on here and we can compare these. So, a few weeks ago, I did compare the Morphe Jaclyn Hill palette to a Crown Brush palette, and in a lot of ways, the Crown Brush palette was better than the Jaclyn palette, but then in other ways, the Jaclyn palette beat the Crown one. Were they the exact same? No, but very close, and I did also hear that Morphe recently changed the Jaclyn Hill palette formula, so that might be why they weren't exact, but when I ordered that palette on the Crown Brush website, I also saw this palette, and I was like, that is very familiar looking. And so I checked my palettes, only to realize that this is literally the exact same as this palette. I guess it even smells like cocoa. But this is by Go-To Beauty. I thought it was by Crown Brush. I guess Go-To Beauty is its own thing. I know they were listed on the Copycat Beauty website, which I don't love, like, exact copies. That to me just seems very icky feeling. I thought maybe Crown Brush private labeled for Too Faced, and because they are private labelers, they just put this palette out, but I don't think Crown makes this. Or maybe they do, and that's why it's on their website. I really don't have any idea, but I'm gonna tell you now, even though I'm doing this video, I don't like when companies make, like, straight up dupes. Like, I know how much effort and time I put into my own products, and to see somebody copy them for cheaper, oh, that just makes me sad. But also, it does kind of make me wonder if this was private labeled for this. So I guess that's more the point of the video today. I don't know. I do understand not being able to afford high-ticket items and you want to recreate those looks. I've been there, I get it. But I think this is originally a $12 palette, which this one is, I think, $49? Somewhere in the 40s, but at least right now on the Crown Brush Value Center, which I love that page, this is $3. I 10 out of 10 recommend checking out Crown Brush, even if it's only for their actual brushes. They are so good. A lot of big companies use them to private label and then they stamp their logo on it and charge 10 times the price. But if you're in need of some good brushes and you don't want to spend an arm and a leg and half a nipple, then definitely check them out. Anyways, let's open this up. I am on the Crown Brush website and they say a luxurious palette that smells as good as it looks. These cocoa powder infused eyeshadows range from metallic to seductive mattes. With full coverage payoff and a smooth texture, this palette is a decadence. I will admit, I do really like this palette. It's honestly one of the only Too Faced palettes that I have left. And that may be because I missed the return date, but still, I have it. And I don't really use this that often, but I do remember the quality being absolutely smashing. It's not a palette that really inspires me to be super creative. In fact, when I type in looks with this palette, pretty much everyone does the same simple, like, smoky eye with a little bit of gold or pink. And that's probably what we're gonna do today. I do want to do one side with this palette and one side with this palette, and we can compare. Mostly, I'm kind of here for the swatches and to feel the textures, but it's kind of a cold, blustery day out. I feel like a nice fall look. I want to do like a dark lip. Oh, fuck, that makes me moist. But if you have one of their chocolate palettes, you know that the moment you open this up, it smells like a candy factory. This must be what Wonka's Willy smells like. And I don't know that this one really has that strong of a smell. It actually doesn't have a smell. If anything, I smell the glue that's holding everything together. No chocolate here, which I don't really mind. I'm not the hugest fan of fragranced eyeshadows. I like the idea, but after a little while, it just gets a little bit nauseating, which I guess I do too, and y'all are still here, so we can tolerate it. But here they are next to each other, literally the exact same, from the placement to the shapes of the eyeshadows. If this isn't a private label for this and it's a copy, that is like way too close for my comfort. I don't even know how this brand would get away with doing this. Let me take a look at the ingredients. Oh, well, shit. Too Faced did their ingredient list correctly, where each shadow is kind of listed with the ingredients, and this one is just all the ingredients as a whole, so I can't really compare. I guess we'll just have to feel them. Let's dive into this little baby. Okay, so I'm gonna first dip into this guy right here. This is Moneybags. It feels so freaking nice. With Too Faced, it doesn't matter who's running it. The company puts out good shit, at least good eyeshadows. For the most part, I guess they have had a few duds here and there, but at least what I've reviewed, it's been decent. Okay, so here is the Too Faced shadow, very nice, and then here is the Dupe. Oh my gosh. Okay, so those are the exact same. Yeah, I mean, well, I think the Too Faced one might have a little bit more gold reflect in it, but that might just be where it's placed on my palm. Even if they are slightly different, the difference is absolutely minuscule, so small that you can barely even tell. I think I'm most curious about these mattes, so let's go in with some Cocoa Truffle. Oh, that is so nice and creamy and buttery. And then let's go in with this Dupe that looks and feels the exact same. The Dupe almost has a little bit more of a yellowy tone to it though, but I might also be full of shit. Those could be the exact same. Okay, so shit, which was the Too Faced one? Oh, this one smells like chocolate. Okay, so there is the Too Faced one. Swatches fantastically. The other one, oh, I picked up too much. I would say that they aren't the exact same, but they are so damn similar. I think the Go-To Beauty is a little bit more warm. It has a little bit more yellow in it, almost veering towards the tannish side. Whereas Cocoa Truffle, it is a little bit deeper, darker, maybe a little bit more bluish undertone, maybe even red. But again, the tiniest little difference. And I think now that I'm really looking at these two shimmers, they are a little bit different. Not a lot. I actually prefer the way the Too Faced one looks just because it does have a more luxurious gold shift to it. Both of them are very pretty, and it's not enough of a difference to say that you need both palettes. Like, if you have one of these, you totally don't need the other. At least with swatches so far. And then let's go in with the black ones. Here is the Too Faced black one, and then here is the, oh my goodness, they are almost the exact same. Ever so slightly different. It's almost like the Go-To Beauty one is more charcoal, and this one is like a deep, deep noir black. Not a big difference at all, though. And I really, oh god, did I get some on my nose? And I really don't smell the cocoa-ness in the off-brand. I can clearly smell it in the Too Faced one. Oh, maybe I do kind of smell it in the other one. It's like if you ate a Hershey's Kiss and then a couple hours later burped. It's kind of a little bit chocolatey, but not really. I was gonna go in with live swatches, but I'm only 3 shades in when my whole hand's taken up, so why don't we go and do actual swatches of both of these palettes? I'm sure by now y'all know the song already, so go ahead and sing it with me. Maybe light a lighter, do your thing. But let's swatch and do a look with these bitches. It's swatching time. Ooh, she is just trying to stay awake today. And today's swatches are brought to you today by this janky-ass bitch. Okay, so sorry about the weird-ass swatches. I never extend them onto my fingers, but I didn't really have room and I wanted the entire palette here, so we're dealing with it. But other than a very slight shift in some of the colors, mainly the mattes, these are the exact same feeling and looking. Oh my goodness. From the formulas to how they stick to the hand to how they wipe off, there are so many similarities that it is just uncanny. A little bit suspicious if you ask me, but swatch-wise, are they pretty much the same? Almost. Not quite, but almost. I think really the biggest difference is with this brown matte. The blacks really don't look that different, at least not in person. I think the Dupe side is a little bit more sheer, and the Too Faced one definitely has more pigment to it. But the Dupe mattes kind of look like they'd be the color that the Too Faced mattes would be once they're blended out. So that kind of scares me because I'm hoping that once I blend out the Dupe side, it doesn't get even lighter and kind of disappear a little bit. But as far as the shimmers go, they seem very, very close. I do notice this gold right here. Maybe it's just the placement on my skin, but the Too Faced one definitely sticks a lot better. It almost looks a little bit more luxurious and glamorous, and it feels a little bit more luxe too. But again, that could be the placement. However, this one does look a little bit more deep and orangey, but as a whole, giggity, they are very close. So love chops, let's go ahead and wipe these off and do a little bit of a look. Some of these colors really do not want to come off, and it seems to be the same colors no matter which palette. Like the blacks, I'm having a hard time getting off of my hand, and then a couple of the shimmers. But it's the same exact color in both of the palettes, so that kind of makes me wonder if maybe they are very close in formula too. I didn't really do my research for this video like I should have. I don't know who formulates Too Faced's products. I don't know if they private label, if they have like an in-house lab. I couldn't imagine them having a lab because they haven't come out with anything new for years. They are definitely an offender of putting the same color in different packaging and calling it something new, which people still buy it, so I guess they're doing something right or something. I don't know if it's right or not. Okay, anyways, let's start with the face base today. For that, I'm gonna begin by priming with my Laura Mercier Hydrating Primer. Before swatching, I did go and take an exfoliating pad to my face because holy shit was I peeling. My skin looked like the outside of a coconut, just like fibrous and weird. And because I'm just reviewing my eyeshadow palette today, I don't really care how my skin looks. I just want to try going in and pre-highlighting and doing like an extreme highlight. I know I've done this before on my channel and I don't remember if I liked it or not, but I'm just gonna take some white Croylon and place it right under my eye here. Might not even be able to see this underneath my foundation, but when I woke up, I just had such a longing to do this. I don't know why. I think I really wanted to try this because my new Holy Grail Consquisque, which is by Estee Lauder. Oh wait, no, this is by Lancome. Okay. It doesn't really offer that much coverage, and this stuff really does, like that's what it's made for. I figured maybe I'll conceal a little bit before, and then I can more highlight with this, which I don't really need more highlighting, but whatever. For foundation, I'm gonna go in with my all-time favorite, my Maybelline Fit Me. And yeah, that just literally covered up all of that white. Okay, well, we tried, I wanted to do it, and we did it. Damn, but that shit actually matches me perfectly today. If I were reviewing it, I would totally bring up the matchometer. But we already know it is literally liquid heaven. And there we are, very, very minimal light coverage today, but I'm not mad. Then we'll add a little bit more highlighting action up here. Shit on a shingle, that Consquisque is supposed to be lighter, but I think it oxidizes to the color of my foundation. Oh, damn, okay. I'm gonna go in with a little bit of cream contour. This is Ambrosa by Hank & Henry. And to prime the eyes, I'm gonna take the Gerard Cosmetics Clean Canvas. I think this is the light shade. Just slather this up like I'm lubing an engine, or lubing something else. The only real color difference that I saw was with the mattes and with that gold and that green. The others seemed literally the exact same, like absolutely no different. So I think I'm gonna try and focus on those ones that did seem a little bit different and see how different they are. I have no idea if that's the correct approach that I should be doing today, but if people want to see more looks, let me know down in the comments below. Maybe I could do a live or something, and I can do little live polls and you guys can pick what I put on my eyes. That would actually be really fun. And usually when I do these kinds of reviews, I like to use the same brush on both sides, and then I'll use my little color switch. Where the fuck is my color switch? Well, what the hell? Oh shit, it's literally right in front of me. I'm gonna go in with the Too Faced palette on this side and then the Dupe on the other. Let's start by going into Rollin' in Dough. I thought that said Rollin' in the Deep and I was like, Adele! A good amount picks up. It's a very, very pretty. I do often use this shadow to highlight the brow. And there we go. Really, you only need one good solid dip. And you know, just for shits, let's take another one. It really doesn't add a ton. It just adds a nice little highlight. I did clean this brush off, so let's dip into the Dupe side. Ooh, that seems to be just as equally kind of like pilly. I don't know what it is in these lighter shadows from them, but they do often kind of fall apart and like go everywhere. It's really not that big of a deal as long as it doesn't land on my face. Let's go ahead and take this right under the brow bone, just like we did with the other side. And I feel like that's okay, but just like the other side, we'll take a second little dip and just press that in. Oh my goodness. Okay. Pretty much the same. I dare say this side might be a little bit more highlighted, but who knows, I could have just picked up a little bit more. But as far as application method and what I see on my little camera monitor, they look the same. So let's get a little bit deeper, shall we? I'm absolutely gonna end up using all of these mattes, so let's just go from lightest to darkest and go into So Bougie. I'm gonna take that on this brush that I just got in my BoxyCharm. This is Tres Luce. I don't know how you say that, but it's their B100 brush. Very, very soft. I've not used it though, so who knows how it is. And that picks up absolutely splendidly, so let's dust a little bit of that off, and let's take this right in the crease line and start to blend it upwards towards the brow. Goodness, that is just heavenly. I love their neutrals. They're just the kind of shadows that go from 0 to 60 in 3.5. They're effortless to blend out. They basically do all the work for you, and being a lazy ass hoe, I really appreciate that. Not that people who appreciate easy eyeshadows are lazy, but for me, it's definitely a perk. And there we go. I'm actually gonna dip once more in so that I can bring that darkness a little bit higher. And then I'm also gonna bring it in right on like the nose part. What is that right there? Like the crook of the nose? What do we call this? I always see Nikki tutorials do this, and there is nary a day where she doesn't look fabulous, so I'm gonna do it too. Speaking of Nikki, what did y'all think of her new launch? Did you grab anything? I totally scored the whole bundle. It is not here yet. I'm not sure how I'm gonna review it because I'm not super big into like skincare. I could use the most expensive, luxurious luxurious products on my face and I wouldn't notice a difference, but then I could use some cheap shit that I got from like the dollar store and it'll make my skin look amazing. So I'm not a novice at reviewing that, but I'll try. Nikki was very honest when she reviewed my stuff and I will absolutely do the same. It's kind of fun. I like that. Okay, anyways, I have dipped into the dupe side with the same brush that I've cleaned off, and it does seem to have about the same amount of kickback. There is quite a lot, but again, as long as it doesn't fall out onto my face, I don't really care. At least not with this palette. I do kind of care with the Too Faced one because she wasn't the most inexpensive thing out there, but an apocalypse happens more often than I dip into that Too Faced palette, so I don't really care. I am instantly noticing kind of what I thought, which this side is quite a bit lighter. Not a fuck ton, but it definitely is lighter, and I'm going in with a good amount too. We'll take it right here on the bridge of the nose, crook of the nose. What'd we decide this is? Yeah, I mean, I do like this side more because it is a little bit deeper. It's kind of sexier and more vibrant. This side isn't bad, but it kind of just matches the color of my skin, so it's not super visible. I'm kind of rooting more for the Too Faced side, but quality-wise, I do think they are on the same page. It's just the difference in color. Then with that same brand brush, this is at 101, I'm gonna dip back into the Too Faced palette into Cocoa Truffle, and that shadow has very minimal kickback. Most of it sticks onto the brush, and we will take this right on the outer corner just like usual. And I like to start by stippling it on and really pressing it into my skin. And then once I'm absolutely positive nothing's gonna fall out onto my face, then I start to kind of blow it around. Or not blow it around, blend it around. You can tell where my mind's at this morning. But yeah, just like pretty much every neutral Too Faced shadow, this blends out like a dream. It is beautiful. With a minimal amount of work, it gives you such a nice professional look. Of course, I did just blend absolutely everything on my eye together, so it's a little bit muddy, but that's my own bad. I like this. I still think it looks pretty. So we will clean our brush off and dip into this dark brown. Ooh, yeah, see, this one has quite a bit of kickback. It's not sticking onto the brush like the other one was. It does stick on, it's just more so in the pan. There's a lot of residual like pilliness. But let's see how it is on this side. We'll start by tapping it on just like we did the other side, and then once it's on, we'll blow it around. Blow it. Honestly, one of my favorite lines whenever I have to tell somebody off, which isn't very often, I love saying, blow it out your ass. And normally I use it in like a funny context. Rarely am I ever in like a heated, serious conversation or argument. Anyways, enough of me rambling. This side definitely wasn't quite as easy to blend out. It almost just like wants to keep spreading out further and further like a watercolor. And so it doesn't make the cleanest look. It does still look fine, but the ease of use wasn't as flowing as the Too Faced side. And I think I still like the Too Faced side more. It has that reddish undertone that really reminds me of a nice cup of hot cocoa. It looks just a little bit more expensive. Both sides are fine, but if I had to pick, I would choose this side. Maybe on camera they look the exact same, I don't know. Then to finish up with the mattes, let's go in with a little teeny tiny bit of black. I'm using that same brand of brush. This is 121. Look at how vibrant those are. Isn't that pretty? I love that blue. Okay, so let's lightly dip into Decadent. Again, everything pretty much stays in the pan. There isn't a fuck ton of kickback. And I'm gonna tap that right here on the outer bit. Ooh, damn. Okay, let me just tap that right there. And then I'm gonna take this other brush that I used. It's clean again. We're gonna dip into Cocoa Truffle and I'm gonna mix it with So Bougie. And we will blend that black out because that is very, very dark. See, this is what I mean. In like under 5 seconds, I can take that little bit of a whoopsie and turn it into a yay, which is why I'm just so sad that Too Faced launches the same thing over and over again. I know they have kind of expanded into colors and they have so many palettes out that it would be kind of hard to make something new at this point, but still, I wish they had more because I would buy it. All right, so back into the other side, let's dip into this black, and she does have a good bit of kickback. Not as much as the other ones though, so let's tap this on. Yeah, that's not quite as pigmented. This side isn't necessarily a whoopsie. I feel like I wouldn't have to blend it out with the other browns like I did the other side. But just for continuity, let's go ahead and do that. I did clean off this brush. Let's dip into this deeper brown as well as this lighter one. We'll just fluff this outer corner out. You know what I think this side is? It's dusty. That's what it is. A little bit like my elbows in the winter. She's kind of ashy. It just isn't quite as rich looking or feeling as this side. However, it would be a good option if you don't want to get the Too Faced one. You're just gonna produce a little bit lighter of a look. And they don't really blend out quite the same. The Too Faced one just blends out so nicely. I know I've said that a million times, but there is a clear difference when you use it. It's not impossible to work with. Like, you could absolutely bang out some beautiful looks with this, but it's almost worth the higher price tag to get the actual Too Faced one because it is so easy to use. But if you don't care about that, maybe this would be a better option. I don't know. I'm not really here to tell you to buy either one. I'm just kind of here to compare. Here are both sides blended out. I know they are kind of over blended and a little bit muddy, at least this side. This side I actually still really like. I can tell that there's a few different colors going on. We have the darker outer corner and it gradually gets lighter when you go up. And when I'm looking in the mirror, I think that if I went outside, nobody would look at my face and be like, you've got two different eye looks. They're pretty cohesive. They're just a little bit different. So now with our phalange, let's dip into chocolate gold in the Too Faced palette. And I'm just gonna smear that bitch right on the inner corner about halfway in. Oh, that's nice. Feels like I'm smearing pudding on my eyelid. Buttery goodness. And even though there was a lot of kickback in that other palette, there isn't anything underneath my eyes, so that is a good sign. Then with my middle finger, I'm gonna dip into the dupe and we'll smear her in the same spot. Now that one does have a little bit of fallout, but it's because it didn't want to stick to my finger quite as well. So I don't think it's like falling off my eye. I think it's falling off of my finger. That's actually not that bad. This one is still a little bit orangey and richer to me, whereas this side, it's just like an off-brand, which it is. But shit, it's pretty damn close, isn't it? Let's turn this into a full-blown Christmas tree look and go into Moneybags on the Too Faced palette. I'm gonna take that about halfway in and slowly start to blend it out towards the black. Oh, I'm definitely gonna take a little bit more gold because we covered up everything, my bad. And then in with the dupe side. Right about there, take it outwards and kind of blend it in. Again, it's just a tiny bit lighter. I think if I did have both eyes with this, it would be perfectly fine. I wouldn't complain, but seeing them next to each other, I still prefer the depth that this one has. All right, what do you think? Too Faced? The other one? Either? Neither? You know what? Let's just keep packing shit on here till I can't even open my eyes. Let's go in with gold dipped. I had wanted to go in with a bit more of that gold, but let's just use this as a highlighter right over that gold and start to bring it towards the outer edge. This will probably be the last one. Yeah, there we go. I like that. Good choice. And then we'll dip into the other side. That looks equally as pretty. Just again, not quite as vibrant. And there is quite a bit more fallout now on this side versus this side. There's a little bit, but really not that much. Let me see if I can kind of dust that away. Oh yeah, we're good. Okay, no biggie. And I'm just gonna blend those browns out on the lower lash so we don't really need to see that. But as an inner corner highlight, let's dip into Rich Girl right here. And we'll place that right there on the Too Faced side. That is a beautiful highlight. Cleaned our brush and let's dip into the dupe side. And we'll place her right there. Ooh, that's nice too, but actually a lot of the gold is kind of transferring to my lower lash. It's not doing the best job of sticking into place. I do still think the Too Faced one looks a little bit better, but it's not a seriously noticeable difference. Then I'm just gonna tap these browns out along the lower lash. And here we are with my final look. One of my lashes is wonky. We can ignore that. But now that lashes and liner and mascara and all that shit is on, both sides do look pretty much the same, am I wrong? I mean, other than my fucked up lash, I do still prefer this side, but side by side, they don't look that different. The only thing that I'm really noticing is that on this side, there is a fuck ton of brown fallout. It was kind of lifting up and blowing away as I was putting down my mascara. So that's not a cute look because now I look even more tired. Whereas the Too Faced side, there really isn't much fallout, both matte and metallic. So I don't really know how I feel about this. Again, I'm not here to recommend either of these to you, but are they the same? No, like color-wise, kind of. The shimmers are similar, but these mattes blow these mattes way out of the fucking water. I think the Too Faced one is way easier to use. There's way less fallout. It just blends out very, very nicely. This palette, I do think it's workable. And for what, $3, you can turn out some fancy ass looks. But will they be as easy to get to as with this palette? Will they be as vibrant as with this palette? No. So yeah, you can kind of decide if you like one side over the other. Would you be able to work with this palette? Or would you rather have the easier to use palette and pay a little bit more or a lot more? But as far as dupes go, this is a decent dupe. Oh my gosh, I can see stuff like flying off of this eye when I blink. Ooh, it's like flying around the room now. Okay, yeah, I don't know that I would have paid the full $12 for this palette and been happy, but the $3, I'm perfectly fine with that. I definitely understand why it's on the clearance section. But yeah, I'm certainly impressed, so that is something. I do think the $3 palette would be good if you just want the shimmers, because I feel like a lot of people have those nudish browns, so you can get better quality literally in any other palette. But the metallics do seem to be decent. Not great, not outstanding by any means, but okay. Whereas in the OG palette, if you've used it, the shimmers are way beyond okay. They're magnificent. Well, maybe not magnificent, but they are very good. So yeah, that was fun. Let me know if there's any other palettes that you'd like to see duped. I totally forgot to introduce this as what it's called, which is Dupe-em. Need to bring my Dupe-em series back full time. But anyways, loves, there you go. Thank you so much for being here. You know I love having you. And I'm sure you know the spiel by now. If you'd like to support me and my channel just a little bit more, please feel free to join us over on Patreon. It's patreon.com/poplux. There you get videos a day early, you get Patreon only content, plus best part, it is cheap, fun, and fancy, just like me. And like always, please be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell down below so that you're notified anytime I upload a new video. Don't forget my newest collection of highlighters, including Black Ice, which does change from black to white, will be available again soon at thepoplux.com. Also, my latest album, Kiss of Fame, is available everywhere online that music is sold. Thank you so much to everyone who's supporting them. Comment down below, let me know what you thought of this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe. You can follow me on Snapchat, Instagram, and Twitter at officialnady, and you can follow me online at thepoplux.com. Thank you so much for watching. I love you all, and I will see you again soon. Bye!